We're going to be talking about my new tubeless setup, what's been going on, and what's about to happen today on Welcome back, everyone. It's been quite a bit since I got in front of the camera to do one of these videos. It's just been one of those winters. What have we been up to? Not much. The weather has been on and off, pretty cold, good bit of snow. The longest we've actually had snow on the ground here in Pittsburgh for quite some time. So we have been getting out and going for rides, just nothing worth getting video of. We haven't been really testing out parts. We're just kind of grinding through the winter, getting through the bad season. Coming up, we do have the opportunity to go ride in Pisgah down in North Carolina. That's coming up in a week or so. I'm going to try to get some footage down there. I took the North Carolina trip last year. We went to Bailey Bike Park and the Riveter. This trip is all about the trails in the woods. I also have plans. I'd like to make a video about air tokens and volume spacers and kind of show off how those react, depending on what size you have in. And I also have one that I'll do with the Gorilla Gravity Pistola regarding the different shock settings and the different headset settings. We'll see how that changes how the bike rides. All right, so now that we got that out of the way, what are we going to talk about today? Today, we're going to talk about the tubeless setup I'm hopefully going to be using for the majority of the season, just because I'm hoping it lasts that long and I don't have to redo it again. Fun fact, throughout the whole time I've been riding, I've never actually used any brand's complete tubeless system, meaning their tape, their fluid, their valves, etc. I've always kind of done half ghetto tubeless setups. I've used Gorilla tape for most of it, and I used this Blue Seal liquid that was a water-based, non-ammonia, had particulates in it, worked pretty well. I've tried stands a few times with mixed results. The ammonia in the stands doesn't always play well when you're not using the right tapes. So, I've had mixed results over the years with using certain tubeless systems. In the comments below, if you want to, let me know your tubeless setup and what things you have tried. Different tapes, different fluids, what's worked for you, what didn't. Let's start a little conversation below. Let's see how many different setups out there people are using, and see if there's any kind of theme on what has worked and what hasn't worked that people may not know of. What I'm going to try this time, instead of using tape, this is from an Italian brand, Effetto Mariposa. It is a one-piece tubeless rim strip. So supposedly I can use this. I don't need tape. You buy them in different widths based on the width of your rim. You get them a few millimeters wider so that way they can settle into the V. We'll see how this works in regards to tape. Hopefully, sounds like a good idea. They come with their own valves, and you can see the valve, how it has a nice rubber block at the top. Hopefully these seal pretty well. They go through the rim strip, so you're actually using part of the rim strip to help seal the valve stem also. Some of you may be more used to kind of, not the generic, but just the basic tubeless valve stem like that, has the rubber. They've worked pretty well for me. I've actually had pretty good luck with these. The kind that I haven't had good luck with are the kind like this that have the metal base on them. And why I haven't had luck with them is the rims that I usually use, let's see here, like this one. See how it has that kind of deep V channel right down the middle? Well, that metal backing on it, sometimes if the V's strong enough, deep enough, you can't bottom this out and get a good seal with a rubber because the metal actually contacts the V of the rim, the bead seat, and they just don't work that well. But we're gonna give these a shot. These look pretty good. Nice big chunk of rubber to seal up well. So that's the strip we're gonna use. That's the valve stems. For the fluid, I'm gonna try this Muc-Off No Puncture fluid. It is ammonia free, non-toxic, good for the environment, and they come in a nice little kit. We open it up here. Okay, they give you a little serving spoon there so you can measure it out depending what size tires you have. Comes in a nice packet like this with a little see-through strip on the back so you can see, you know, how much is left in the pouch. If you're using smaller tires, you might only be using, you know, half to 3/4 of a pouch at a time. It's good to know. We got some other goodies in here. All right, comes with 2 little O-rings in there for sealing up the top of their valve stems, and the valve stem core or valve removal tool. You know, it makes life a little bit easier. And this little guy, what's this thing? So you don't, so you can find the key to your car door whenever you're going at night. Now, they call this a UV torch, and that is because the tubeless fluid is UV reactive. It will glow so you can see it. Now, how's that going to help you? So if you get your setup all ready, everything's going good, and maybe you have a slow leak somewhere or a puncture or anything, maybe you can't find it, take the wheel into the dark, use the UV torch, voila, it'll highlight, look like magic. Let's actually cut right here, head into the other room where it's darker, and let's see how this lights up and if you can see it. Okay, so now we're in a room that doesn't have any external windows, so when we shut the lights out, it'll be completely black. We've got our Muc-Off No Puncture. We've got the little light that comes with it, and a tire. We're just going to take a little bit of the fluid here, so we can just show you how it lights up. Just going to take a little bit, wipe it on the inside of a tire like that, and then when it's dark out, you'll see how it lights up. That's what it looks like in regular light. Might not glow that much. Now you can see when there's no lights or anything, you can use the little LED light here to find any micro punctures. You'll see this leaking from the sidewalls because it's hope this comes across on video well. It lights up pretty bright. You'll definitely notice if there's a puncture or if an existing plug that you have in is leaking again. Now, before I go ahead and put the rim strip and the tubeless valve in, I am going to run 1 layer of tape across the spoke holes. And that's just because, from experience, a lot of people forget about them, but these spoke holes end up causing you problems later on, depending on the pressure you run, where it can start sagging in over time. Usually not right off the bat, just once your bike's been set up tubeless for a while, it can start to you know, make whatever strip, tape, rubber, whatever layer you're using sag in there, sometimes blow out if it's been a hot day and it gets soft. So we're just going to protect that. We're going to shore that up by putting an extra layer of tape on that. I'm not going to video it because you don't want to see me do that. It's not fun. Let's finish that up now. First step for using this rim strip, they want you to put the valve through the rim strip. It's got a smaller hole in it, so it holds it in there nice and tight, doesn't fall out. Then we're going to put that through the rim, and then just kind of start off working it in there by hand. Now don't worry if it's not, you know, looking completely flat and flush and sitting in the center. We're not going to worry about that just yet. And you can see it's pretty tight. Like, it doesn't want to just go on there easy. That's what you want though. That's what's going to give it a good seal. What they say to do, use something like a screwdriver, put it under the rim strip, and start pulling it back. And use that to work the strip over the rim. It's not the easiest. This is pretty tight. I cut the camera there while I was doing it because honestly that was kind of a fight. It's a thick strip. It's stretchy, but it is strong. Now, as you can see, it's on the rim, but it's not in there centered. That's what they say to grab, and then you just use it to pull. As you can see, once I do that, it centers in there real nice. And then sits in there nice and even, goes edge to edge. But once I do that, and you work it all the way down to the valve stem, we're going to work back the other direction. And when you do that, it sits in there nice and flush. So I'm going to finish up this one. I'll do the other wheel, and then we'll get the tires mounted and the fluid in. All right, now both of them are done, and I let them sit for a minute, which kind of let everything stretch and tighten back in. So I wanted to get a close-up of that so you could see it. It's formed in there really nice. It's perfectly edge to edge. It actually, now that it's in there, it looks like some of the factory installed setups. It's probably one of the best looking, you know, we'll see if it actually seals up that well. But for right now, it's probably one of the best looking rim coating materials I've seen. I don't know if it's going to work long term. We'll find out. It's new to me. Okay, the tire went on nice and easy. The valve stem, having that rectangular rubber block, made it real nice and easy for the tire to stay where it needed to and not get hung up on the valve stem. Keep either side of the bead on each side of it. And another fun fact about my tubeless setups, I've never had to use an air compressor or an air chamber with, you know, a big pressure dump to it to get tires to seat. So let's see with this rim strip and this valve stem, the WTB rims and tires, if I can do it again. Already holding pressure. We're already up to 15 PSI. So nice thick rubber strip. It helps the tire seat, keeps it in that channel till you start giving the pressure, and then it seats it and goes out edge to edge, already building pressure. So far I see nothing but pluses. I don't know what you think, but hopefully you like it. I'll finish these up off camera and then we'll get the fluid in. I got the tires, the seat on the bead, you know, put them both up to about 45 to 50 PSI, let the beads pop. Once we do that, now we can put the fluid in. If you're using smaller tires before you seat the bead, you know, you can use the little cup here, 15 milliliters per pour, depending on the size of your tire. These are 29 inch by 2.5 and 29 by 2.4 front and rear. So I'm just going to use the whole packet and not worry about it. If it's more fluid than I need, it should just last longer, but who cares? On the back, it gives you the different milliliters you can use. 29ers and downhill go from 105 up to 140. So for ease of use, instead of trying to save a little bit, whole packet. Take off the cap. And if you look, this is a little bit bigger than the opening of the, you know, a tubeless valve with the core removed. But inside it tapers down. So don't just put it on there and try to squeeze the fluid in. Really seat it in there. And then we're going to start with giving it a squeeze. You can hear it going in. And what this does by squeezing it in this way is you're putting it on that rim strip and that track, so that way it's going to seal up the bead of the tire real nice. I'm just going to go ahead and finish that up. All right, I think we got it all in there. Turn the valve a little bit just so it doesn't dump out. Little mess. That's okay. Now, do not throw this packet out. They are reusable because Muc-Off sells their tubeless fluid in bulk containers that you can either get for yourself, or if your dealer uses Muc-Off, you can take this back and they can just fill this up for you. So bonus to them. That's a pretty cool feature. All right, let me finish up the other one and we'll get back to talking. Both wheels are finished up. Went pretty flawless. Everything went together. Fluid went in fine, zero mess. They aired them back up to 30 PSI. That way I can, you know, watch it and come back down later, check it with an air gauge, see if it lost any pressure, if anything's leaking. whenever you're filling up your tubeless tires, even when they're on the bike and you're just topping off, remember to put your valve stem up high so that way the excess fluid runs down low, so you're not injecting that fresh air from your pump directly into the puddle of your tubeless fluid, which will start to coagulate it early and you know, just start causing boogers and harden it up inside your tire. Put the valve stem up high. Because it's fresh and this is brand new, we're gonna get, you know, shake it around a little while, make sure we try to get all the tire, all the rim, all the beads seated, put it on the bike, take it for a ride around the neighborhood, and make sure it holds air. Tires are on, fluid's in. We've talked about what we've been doing. We talked about what we're gonna do. Maybe we'll get to ride together. I hope to see you out there now that the weather's breaking. We're headed to North Carolina next. That's probably the next updates you'll see. We're going to be riding those trails, and you know, I look forward to getting out there. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you out there.